Red Bull Racing is impressing in Formula One with their RB19 car. This remarkable machine is breaking all records, and putting the team in a position to achieve a historic record of victories in all races of the season. However, the spotlight is focused on the glaring difference in performance between Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez in the same car. While Verstappen has been racking up victory after victory, Perez seems to have lost pace, trailing 125 points behind the race leader. With Fernando Alonso and Lewis Hamilton breathing down his neck, Perez's position in the team is being questioned. Meanwhile, Red Bull Racing is also flirting with other drivers, such as Lando Norris from McLaren. Perez, therefore, needs to step up for the rest of the 2023 season if he wants to secure his place in the team. Hello everyone. I'm Enzo, broadcasting directly from London, and by my side is the incomparable William, from Birmingham. We're here on F1 Motor Fever podcast, your go-to place for everything Formula One. We meet here every day, at noon and 4 o'clock, to bring you all the adrenaline of the tracks directly to wherever you are.
That's right, Enzo. We're always ready to put the pedal to the metal on the freshest news from the world of Formula One.
Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, activate notifications, comment and share with your friends and family. This helps a lot to keep our engine running. Now, brace yourselves, because we have a bombshell news coming from the tracks. You won't believe what's happening at Red Bull Racing.
I'm looking forward to this, Enzo. What?
Me too, William Turner. It's a twist that could change the future of the team. Don't miss out, because the excitement is going to be huge. Full throttle. Hold on. Here we go. Felipe, Vicente, roll the jingle. So, let's get straight to the point. Red Bull Racing and the innovative design of the RB19 have been the talk of the town, breaking records in Formula One that have lasted for decades. There have been numerous articles on the subject, with the car drawing attention for its superiority. The team has just 10 races left to establish an unmatched record of winning all races in a season. But, we can't ignore the notable difference in performance between the teammates.
That's true, Enzo. What? The disparity between Verstappen's and Perez's performance is quite evident.
Exactly, William. The same RB19 car, which is an unbeatable machine with Max Verstappen, seems like a completely different beast in the hands of Sergio Perez. The Mexican driver, who started the season with hopes of winning the championship, won 2 of the first 4 races. However, the tide completely turned when his teammate, Verstappen, won the next 8 races. Perez is now 125 points behind his teammate, although he is still in second place in the title race. However, with a gap of less than 42 points from Fernando Alonso and Lewis Hamilton, the pressure is mounting.
And, of course, this raises questions about Perez's future in the team.
You're spot on, William. Even though he has a contract for the next season, Red Bull has a history of replacing drivers who don't perform as expected. An example of this is rookie NYCK de Vries, who was replaced by Daniel Ricciardo. This raises the question, could Sergio Perez be next?
It's interesting to note, Enzo, that Christian Horner, the boss of Red Bull, gave a glimmer of hope to Ricciardo, who will be 35 next season. He said, "I don't see age as a barrier," and even cited Fernando Alonso and Lewis Hamilton as examples of drivers who are still at their peak, despite their age. So, there might still be room for Ricciardo at Red Bull.
That's a very relevant observation, William. It's also important to highlight that Horner made it clear that the spot at Red Bull is not restricted only to AlphaTauri drivers. There are many drivers out there who would love to have a chance to drive a Red Bull car, and this, undoubtedly, puts even more pressure on Perez.
Yes, definitely. Also, Zak Brown, the boss of McLaren, defended his team and even said that McLaren is a better place to be than Red Bull. He also mentioned the uncertainties about Red Bull's new engine and how much this could influence the team's performance. So, I think we're in a very uncertain and exciting season.
Definitely, William Turner. And it's worth mentioning that Sergio Perez seems to understand the pressure and the goals he needs to achieve for the rest of the season. After his second place in Belgium, he told the press that he hopes not to leave the podium until the end of the year. He acknowledged that he has faced some difficulties, but the team managed to overcome and scored important points for the team.
And we can't forget that Perez was phenomenal at last year's Singapore Grand Prix. He has notable skills on street circuits and certainly hopes to increase his total victories in the upcoming races.
That's right, William. So, let's keep an eye on how the situation will evolve. The fight for the title is heating up and the competition between the teams is fiercer than ever. And with that, we go back to our jingle. Felipe, Vicente, please.
And, speaking of fierce competition, we can't ignore what happened to Carlos Sainz last year, can we, Enzo?
Ah, yes, William. It was a tough operation for Sainz last season. There were even accusations that Red Bull was playing games, which certainly added an extra element of tension to the competition.
Yeah, Enzo, and that's what makes Formula One so exciting. There's so much at stake, both on and off the track.
Certainly, William Turner. The team's strategies, the driver's skills, the unexpected twists, all of this contributes to the excitement. And we're here to bring all these details to our listeners of F1 Motor Fever podcast.
Yes, Enzo, and speaking of excitement, I'm already looking forward to seeing what the next Grand Prix have in store for us. The season is just heating up.
No doubt, William. And that's why we'll continue to follow closely and bring all the news to you. But, for now, let's take a break and we'll be back soon to continue talking about this fascinating sport. William, shall we take a look at what the public is commenting on the internet about Formula One?
Sure, Enzo. Let's go. Look here, user XXU posted a photo and said, the trophy for this weekend's Dutch Grand Prix.
Ah, interesting. And what was the reaction to that?
Well, user quirky_interview_329 replied, Golden Lion, already personalized for Max. And user EGVP added, they even put the car number on it.
Very creative. Any other interesting comments?
Yes, user Grazed by My Meatloaf came up with a fun idea. He said, I would love if they were bold enough to do this, and then Hamilton ends up winning and has a trophy with Max's face on it. And user Skibam04 added, put it on all three and Hamilton has a good chance of getting a Max trophy. It would be hilarious if Zandvoort trolled the field with this. I'm curious if the FIA would do anything.
I'd love to see Hamilton's face if that happened.
And you're not the only one, Enzo. User CH4Rly_G even looked up the rules about trophies and realized there aren't many restrictions. He said, if memory serves, the FIA has to approve all trophies, and they have some mandatory elements. But I looked it up, on page 56, and there are minimal rules about trophies.
Really, William? It seems we don't have many restrictions for the creativity of the trophies. And what else are people saying?
Well, user Rororug joked, doesn't matter. Lando will still break it again, so they can make a new one anyway. And user Third0 remembered a similar case. He said, just like when they called Serena Williams to appear in a post-race interview expecting Lewis to win and it ended up being an awkward interview next to Max.
You never know what can happen in Formula One, do you? That's what's exciting. And there we are, at the end of another episode of F1 Motor Fever podcast. I would like to thank everyone who joined us in this super interesting discussion about Formula One today. Without your participation, none of this would be possible. So, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, activate notifications, and share with friends. And, of course, we would love to read your comments and opinions on today's topic.
That's right, Enzo. And folks, remember that we're here every day, at noon and 4 o'clock, eager to bring you the best of the world of Formula One. And, believe me, we have many surprises coming.
Absolutely, William, and before we finish, we would like to thank the amazing technical team that makes all this happen. A special thank you to Felipe and Vicente, you guys are awesome.
No doubt, Enzo. And folks, we're already looking forward to our next episode. So, don't miss out.
Exactly, William. And as we always say, pedal to the metal and eyes on the track, our channel always scores. Roll the jingle, Felipe.